Hello, football fans, and welcome back to Madden 23. Now, in full disclosure, this is the second time I'm recording the beginning of this video. I had recorded it once before, and I actually tried to upload the video, and what I had done at that point is I wanted to talk about the drafts, particularly for the Carolina Panthers, and I had shown some highlights of the first two draft picks for the Carolina Panthers. Unfortunately, that's not allowed on YouTube right now, and even though I was narrating over everything and I had turned the audio off and stuff, evidently the video footage itself is not allowed, so I don't want a copyright issue. So I'm re-recording this here without the video to it. So I did want to give my thoughts though on the draft for the Carolina Panthers, and I will say I actually, after looking into the players, am actually very hopeful and somewhat pleased with how the draft went. Um, let's start with our overall top pick of Bryce Young. I think that Bryce Young is going to be a great asset for the team. Originally, I wasn't sure that it was a great idea to go with the number one overall pick and, spend what we did basically in order to get him. But upon looking at it more, looking at sort of his playing and his time at Alabama, I actually was very pleased by a few things. Now, I know one of the major things that comes up with him is, his height. He's not that tall. And to start off with, I will say right away, that doesn't worry me almost at all because of the fact that Drew Brees is the perfect example. Drew Brees was not a very tall quarterback himself, and yet he was very proficient and had a fantastic career in the league. So, moving on from the height issue, then we go to his actual capabilities. And what I saw on film was, yes, he is a mobile quarterback, which had me concerned originally because I was concerned of seeing flashbacks of we're just reverting to the Cam Newton era all over again. However, the big thing I noticed on the highlights, and you can see it for yourself if you watch some of his highlights from this past year, even when he's going to run or he's sort of moving in the pocket, his eyes are always downfield. He's looking for that person he can throw the football to almost always. And that's something that was a really big deal to me because it's one of those he's not looking just to take off and run, which I felt Cam Newton did way too much. Instead, he's really trying to find an open receiver. He's using his mobility to give his receivers time so that they can get open and they can get to a place where he can put the football in their area. The second thing I noticed with him is his actual arm strength and accuracy. When he's able to set his feet and such, he's able to throw a very good distance and very accurately, throwing some receivers open. But even when he's on the move, he still seems to have some really good quality strength and is able to get a pass downfield with it. So I'd say instead of Cam Newton, he's much more comparable to, say, a Patrick Mahomes in this way. The difference to me is I still feel like Mahomes is much more of an athlete, and I don't feel like he has the quarterback mentality as much. I'm not really trying to knock on him. I mean, Patrick Mahomes has done phenomenally in the NFL. But I do still feel like he's more of an athlete than he is sort of a quarterback or a pocket passer. I do feel like Bryce Young is different in that. I think that Bryce Young actually does care more about throwing the football than he does running with the football. And I think that given the two options, he will always try to throw the ball. And I really appreciate that. I do feel like he can be a pocket passer, and that's something that I think, for one, will give him longevity in his career. Because hits are going to take their toll over time. He's going to slow down in that way. And so being able to go ahead and, get to the point where he's a pocket passer and not relying on his feet is a great thing. It'll give him a longer career and allow him to grow more as a quarterback. With that being said, I changed my opinion from a couple of weeks ago. I'm actually happy that we went ahead and got the first overall pick and that we went ahead and picked up Bryce Young with it. Now, I will say, the one concern I have, and the one thing I wish that we would change, and we still have time to do so, is I would love to see us bring in a veteran quarterback. And this could go one of two ways. If we could get a quarterback who could be a starter for the year, Personally, I was never looking at Aaron Rodgers because I just don't feel like he's a great fit. I don't think he brings enough to the team for what he's wanting financially, and I sort of feel like he brings a lot of drama along with him. So, not at all sad that Aaron Rodgers is not on the table. But I would love for us to get a veteran quarterback, possibly to start this year. Allow Bryce Young to sit on the bench and learn while watching, sort of like Aaron Rodgers did with Brett Favre sitting behind him. I would love that as a possibility. I don't think that's going to happen, but even if that wasn't the case, then what I would love to see also is to bring in a veteran quarterback that could be on the headset on the sideline there and talking to Bryce Young, giving him pointers in between plays whenever he comes to the sideline, talking to him about what he saw, everything of that nature, and really giving him that perspective, along with helping him learn the ropes of just getting through the outside the game aspects of the NFL. I think that would be a good call for the Panthers, and while it would cost us some money, I think it would be a wise investment. I don't think we had anybody really on our roster that fit that. Sam Darnold really doesn't fit that, so we need to bring somebody in for that. I don't know exactly who we would, but I would love to see that happen. I do know our coach is sort of quarterback oriented, so I think he will be helpful in that way to a point. But I would love for him to bring in an assistant or somebody who's a former NFL quarterback that would also help in that matter. Now, moving on from the first overall pick, let's talk about the second round. Second round, we went ahead and got Jonathan Mingo, and this was actually a really big pickup, I feel, as well. Now, we did get rid of more this last season here, or in the off season, and that allowed us to get the number one overall draft pick. And one of the concerns I had for the team was, even if Bryce Young turned out to be really good, which, as I said, I do believe he is, then what is left on the team for him to have as weapons? I didn't feel like we had a lot. I mean, we've got a few decent running backs, but not really anything for the passing game. Jonathan Mingo, I do feel changes that. And I'm actually really happy with Mingo. Because if you look at the footage of Mingo, he's not the fastest receiver out there. He does have a few moves and stuff, but the thing that I love about him is overall I see him as a possession receiver. He is the type that's more going to go up in an area and get the football. And I think that that's going to pair really great with Bryce Young because Bryce can move out of the pocket. And if he's in danger, if he's going to be sacked or something, he can somewhat know that he can rely on throwing it to the area of Mingo and allowing Mingo to go up and get the football. He's definitely got some aggressive possession nature to him. I saw a few one-handed catches by him, and I also saw a few where he went back over the back of a defender to get a reception as well. As I said, I think both of those characteristics are going to be phenomenal paired with a Bryce Young. I think that's going to be a great thing for the team. I would like to see us add another receiver, maybe a catching tight end. I mean, I do miss Greg Olsen. He was a phenomenal asset for the team back in the day. And quite frankly, this is where I do feel like losing McCaffrey was also a bad thing because McCaffrey was a great catching asset out of the backfield, which I think paired with a Bryce Young could have worked really, really well. But that's a ship that has sailed, so I am sort of curious what we're going to do as far as at the running back position. That's one that I do wonder about. But as I said, the overall two top picks that we have, I'm really happy with. And as I said, I didn't cover it in last week's video. I did want to go ahead and touch on the draft here this week. So those are my thoughts on the overall top two picks in the draft for my team. I think that they're really going to be beneficial for the team. I think that they are players that could be with the team for years and years to come and add a lot to the team as a whole. With that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the things we need to do before the game this week, then go ahead and play the game. We're going to be playing the 49ers at home, which is a good thing, though they are a very challenging team here. They got a tight end that's going to be very challenging to stop, so we've got a lot on our plate. First things first, though, the biggest deal for the week for me is we're going to relocate the team, or at least start that process. Let's go ahead and view the available cities. I already know where I want to move the team, so now it's just a matter of moving them there. Alright. I want them to move to Orlando. I know it's not an easy place for them to play, but My thought process here, as I've discussed in previous videos, is much the same as the Raiders moving to Las Vegas. These are not cities that are seen as generally big football cities, but the thing about them is they're big for tourism overall. Las Vegas, of course, for the strip, for the casinos, for betting in general. So the Raiders have really fit in quite naturally there. It's just been another entertainment thing that is drawing people into the area. Here, same thing goes. Orlando is the home of some of the largest amusement parks in the world. So putting in a NFL team is just another amusement for the area. I see it as one of those things where probably they would work with one of the organizations that has an amusement park in the area, Disney or Universal Studios, maybe even Busch Gardens SeaWorld, the corporation, and go ahead and try to put this stadium either on the property of one of these companies or next to the property of the companies. So that way, the hotels that function for the amusement park would also function for the NFL stadium. And they could do combo tickets in between the two. So that way, parents could enjoy a football game if they were big football fans, but also take the kids to go see Mickey Mouse. So I really feel like even though the game says that the fan interest would be very low, I do agree the market size is decent, and they are going to probably want a front runner. But really, who doesn't want a front runner at the end of the day? So we're going to go ahead and move the team to Orlando. All right, now we have the breakout defensive lineman. Brian Burns, left defensive end. Coach, remember all those big plays I piled up last week? You remember how I had offensive line tripping and stumbling over themselves? Well, wait till you see what I do to the Niners this week. I'm about to make a case as the league's premier defensive lineman. I have no problem with that myself. I am definitely willing to help him in that. Alright, hold the 49ers to less than 50 rushing yards and 0 rushing touchdowns, or get Brian Burns 3 plus interceptions, forced fumbles, tackles for loss, or sacks. I'd say the first one's the more logical one. I've really held teams rushing wise to very little, so I think that this is very doable overall. But the fact is, Brian Burns has been a beast for me at points. This last week, as an example, where I had 2 plays with back-to-back sacks. So it is possible he'll get 3 sacks as well. We'll just have to see. All right, so then we have 300 plus offensive yards. Think that's doable. Win by 17 points. Think that's also doable. Allow 30 points or less. Definitely doable. Make the playoffs. We're definitely on our way for that. Allow 2 or less passing touchdowns. Definitely doable as well. See, they have the quarterback here as Dante Randall. Let's see, edit players. Alright, so I could not get the draft class to load properly. Perhaps I'll work on that off camera at a point. But for now, my thought process on it is I'm gonna draft a quarterback in the draft, and I'm gonna draft a wide receiver in the draft, and I will simply adjust those players. I'll edit them in order to be who they should be, height wise and sort of look wise. Then from there, I can go ahead and try to get their stats up on my own. That's the plan I have for it. I am curious to see what they have to say about the fact now that I've selected to move us to Orlando here real fast. Still just saying us leaving Charlotte. Alright. So, everything else is pretty much where I want it to be. More I've thought about it though, I am going to go to my staff. change the one gameplay goal. 17 points is fine. This at 300, I think it's a bit much for my team, so I'm going to go ahead and do 250 yards instead. Then we can do better than this, so let's go, no, let's allow 20 points or less. I would like 200 plus rushing yards. I think that's more than fair. You know what, let's win the turnover battle as well. So I'll basically just change everything. Alright. Well, I'm good with those. So it's time to jump into the game and see how we do against the 49ers.
Today, from Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina, it's Week 5 of the NFL on EA Sports. We'll see Sam Darnold and the Carolina Panthers taking on Trey Lance and the San Francisco 49ers.
Just a spectacular afternoon for football here in the Tar Heel state of North Carolina as EA Sports welcomes you inside Bank of America Stadium in uptown Charlotte. Today we've got a good Week 5 matchup in store here between the San Francisco 49ers and the Carolina Panthers. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, we look at this Panther ball club as they interplay here. It's been all systems go in this first month. They're off to a 4-0 start.
And it's got folks believing that this is a team that's built to go all the way. You can't win the Super Bowl in September, but they're telling everyone that they're going to be there in the end.
And we will not get a run back here to start. It's a touchback, and it will come out to the 25. 49ers offense trots out for their first series, and they're led by the 3rd overall pick for the 2021 draft out of North Dakota State, Trey Lance.
And no excitement unless you're on the defensive team of last week in his numbers, because the only excitement he really generated was the one interception he threw.
Yeah, no touchdown passes.
Yeah, and his team wasn't real thrilled about that. And they lost the game. So I know this week has been tough on him because he's been working hard. Fundamentals, footwork, finding the right targets. And bottom line, how do they get a win? Brandon, we saw these defenders flying to the football in their win last week, and nothing has changed. They're still moving around quickly and forcing incompletions.
So following the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 25. Now former 6th-round pick, it's Elijah Mitchell. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. So trouble already here on their opening drive. This is 3rd and 9. Well, this defense for the Panthers, they were excellent a week ago in the victory over Arizona.
And what I saw on film was a nearly unstoppable pass rush. 5 sacks last week, plenty of hurries given up. So now what do you do on offense? You just max protect, keep everyone in and run the ball, or maybe just 1 or 2 receiver routes in order to try and keep your quarterback upright. He's a talented runner, and that means he's always looking for bigger and bigger gains when he takes off. Certainly found some bonus yards there beyond the first down marker, and this early drive will continue with that extra jolt from his legs.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. First down, here's Mitchell. And this defense not giving him anything there. Maybe a yard up to the 36.
Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
And now they'll throw with Lance. Completes it to the tight end, Kittle. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that, you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
Wisnowski on to punt as he sends this one away. It's a 39-yard punt, 3 on the return. And the Panthers will take over now, 1st and 10. We see Carolina's offense getting set for their first possession here. And at quarterback, his second season with the Panthers, Sam Darnold.
And the thing with Sam Darnold is we know the skill set is there. May not be the most mobile or strongest arm quarterback in the league, but usually plays with really good poise, and at his best, like a point guard in basketball, able to move around and distribute the rock.
Darnold and the Panthers now with a 1st and 10 here at their own 19-yard line. A play fake, and it's Darnold. That'll be caught by his tight end, Ian Thomas. And he's tackled at the 38, but they doubled their yardage. The play started at the 19, and they gained 19.
Good job there of getting his tight end involved because he lines up on the right side of the formation, just works his way across the field. I really like how they were in sync on that one. He spotted the open gap in the zone, and his quarterback found him, and they get a first down.
And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. D. Ford able to record his 5th sack of the season.
It's been a tough couple of years for D. Ford in San Francisco. Only been able to stay on the field for 7 games in the last 2 seasons with just 3 sacks to show for that stretch. If he can stay on the field for a full season, look out.
He's going to look deep for more. And that nearly an interception here on this opening drive, but he gets a reprieve. It's 3rd down.
I know conventional wisdom says, hey, don't get it all back in one play. But sometimes you go ahead and try to. They tried to get it all back on that one. Weren't able to do so.
Got a man, that's Rashard Higgins. And he can only get this to the 42-yard line. And that is not near enough. They'll get 11, but it'll still lead to a 4th down. So on 4th down, here's Johnny Hecker to punt it away. And this will be taken at the 13. A 41-yard punt, 9 on the return. And the Niners will go on offense, 1st and 10. Back out there comes the 49ers offense, ready for their second drive. Defense got the better of them last series, forcing a punt. See if they make a few changes in the game plan here and try to get points out of this drive. 1st and 10. Lance now on 1st down. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. 23 yards on the tuck and run.
I am willing to bet that he got a monster grin on his face when he saw what was happening. Man-covers were so committed to denying a big throw that it pulled attention away from him, and he had an easy lane to hit, and hit it he did.
Looking deep for Hilton, and it's intercepted. Xavier Woods with a pick, and the Panthers are going to get the football here as he gets this up past the 20-yard line. CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
The drive begins with a run by McCaffrey. And he finds a little bit of room, enough for 4 yards. It'll be 2nd down. The numbers for McCaffrey last week. North of 100 yards, the 2 scores. And, you know, you got to give a lot of credit to the O-line. We talked a lot about him, but offensive line was good too.
They're obviously in sync with each other, whether it's zone blocking, power running game, no matter what. He understands how to read them and find the creases that they provide.
Call it a gain of 4 there, so it sets up a big play here. 3rd and a yard. Faking the give, Darnold. Out to his left. And this is not going to be enough. Was in search of 2 yards and only got halfway there. Only able to get back a yard for his efforts, and that leads us to 4th down. No score after 1 on EA Sports. They'll run for it. McCaffrey. And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a 1st down. They only needed a few inches, but still some anxious moments there. But they do convert on 4th. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. Again, they run. Again, it's McCaffrey. And some room to maneuver. And he's taken down right at the 45-yard line. That good for 22 and a 1st down.
Okay, let's do our version of name dropping here. Let's show off a little knowledge, right? The A gap, the gap between the center and the guard on either side, right? Both sides. Control that, you're going to control an inside running game.
And he had to feel satisfied because he hit that gap, broke the contact. He loves that.
That's the best part, right? That's what he's going to ask the coach to run back on film.
Let me see that one more time.
Show that again, coach. Look how my legs kept churning. I just kept moving, and he did to the tune of a big game.
Play action. It's Darnold. Oh, look at Thomas wide open. And he is out of bounds right around the 10-yard line. 23 yards on the play. Catch number 100 for his career right there, and it's good enough to keep the chains moving. Here we go now on 1st and goal. Moore, the man in motion. Off of play action, Darnold on the move to his left. To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
And I think they'd be well served to take that type of a physical approach against him the rest of the game. He's had his way so far, but on that last one, that worked quite well for the defense.
Back to the ground attack here. It's McCaffrey, and he'll get about 4 there as he takes it from the 10 down to the 6. This has been a long drive. You got to figure a field goal would be a letdown. Can they convert now on 3rd and goal? McCaffrey, and he will take it across for a Panthers touchdown. Christian McCaffrey hitting double digits with his 10th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Panthers post the first points of the ballgame as they take the lead here in this 2nd quarter. So that's now 10 touchdowns for him on the year. He's into double figures, and we're not even to the halfway point of the season yet.
Partner, doesn't it speak to how well he works with this offensive line? And they know he doesn't need a giant alley to run through. He just needs a little seam. And he's so good at being patient, waiting for things to develop, and then accelerating when it does appear.
Gonzalez able to tack on the PAT, and that makes the score 7-0. The kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. No run back here, down to a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. Coming up in prime time here in Week 5, a couple of division rivalries on the docket. Beginning tonight in the AFC North with the Bengals and Ravens from Baltimore at 8:20 Eastern. Then tomorrow, Monday Night Football, Raiders and Chiefs from Arrowhead in the AFC West. Lance and the 49ers now, 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And that one off the mark behind him. Incomplete. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. On 2nd down, here's Mitchell. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30.
That 2nd down play call was not to pick up the 1st down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable 3rd down because they had incompletion on 1st down, so they were behind the stick.
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Dante Jackson picks it, and he will bring this one back. It's a pick 6 for a Panther touchdown. But no surprise to see that one, partner. The league's #1 defense coming through with a huge pick 6.
And it's plays like that one that have made them the most feared group to face this year. Offenses, they're trying to figure out how to work around them rather than work through them. Big-time impact playmakers scattered throughout the unit on every level, and they can change a game at a moment's notice.
Gonzalez good on the extra point, and it's now 14-0. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. The road ahead a little bit more difficult now after that pick 6. So dealing with his deficit here, we'll see if he can try to make amends on this drive. 1st and 10. And they'll begin by running the option. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. Right off the bat, it's a 1st down to start the drive, 12 yards. And Lance again going to keep it. Uses the stiff arm. Coming up at halftime in a little less than 2 minutes, we'll send you to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman is standing by. He'll have highlights and analysis of this 1st half. Throwing on 1st down is Lance. That's complete. It's Brandon Ayuk. And the tackle going to be made at the 38.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well. This team is not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. It came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
And that is incomplete.
Let's face it, if you want to get back into the game, these are the kind of throws you got to hit. He's wide open right there. Got to be able to get it to him, don't you think?
And those are the throws that haven't been available to them every time he's dropped a pass. Yeah, that's a big miss. And this is off target to the left. Didn't get there anyway. It's no good, and this will remain a 2-touchdown game.
Yeah, 55 yards is anything but a gimme. You've got to really concentrate on your leg swing and proper technique. This time, though, he's unable to convert.
Out comes Christian McCaffrey with the rest of the offense. Whatever he was doing in September, they're hoping that that carries over now to October because he was sensational last month.
He absolutely was, and we all know where it started at the end of last season, right? All the offseason preparation, the weight workouts, the sprints, right? The vision that he had, what he was going to do this season, and, of course, it all came together with the rest of the team. Those big fellas up front, leverage, and boy, are they getting downfield and creating extra blocks for him.
They really are. Everyone's been doing their job so far to create those holes. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. Give him 15 there, and the Panthers have a first down.
Now how about this throw right here? Had to throw it to the left sideline, and you know the timing's got to be correct on this one. Ball's got to be right where it needs to be, and it was. That's because he had great arm strength on that one, able to drive the football. Quarterbacks love it when they can show off their arms.
And oh, a dangerous throw there. Nearly intercepted on the sideline, but it's incomplete. Darnold to throw again. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's third down.
As his old brain remembers, when I see 5 wide receivers on the field as a defender, I know the ball's coming out hot. They expected it and got there and popped it free.
And that is incomplete. Oh, he did everything but hold on to it. But a nice play defensively, and now it brings up fourth down. Gonzalez's kick is good, and that will extend their lead even further. That was perfect. From distance, he steps up, knocks it right down Main Street.
And Main Street's celebrating right now with him, aren't they? I love the mechanics of the whole thing. Snap, hold, everything was right on target, and the blocking was perfect, and he executed so well.
Well, the Niners going back on offense now late in this first half. And with a 3-score deficit staring them in the face, they might have to press the issue here and try to get points out of this drive. On first down, Lance. And not much happening there. He's taken down, but a late penalty flag in the backfield. This looks like a roughing call. Okay, so the personal foul penalty, and those are some important yards lost right there.
Yeah, it all comes down to discipline, doesn't it? And every team tells us that they coach it, they preach it. In this case, it slipped a little bit.
Flush to his right, and he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. The 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this first half. Here's Lance to throw it. Got a man, that's Ayuk. And he'll be tackled on the other side of midfield at the 46-yard line. Now another timeout called for by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. Lance looking to throw it. Now a leaping catch, he's got it. And he is going to have a Niners first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. Now a timeout. 7 seconds left in the first half. So even though it's first down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. And the 39-year-old veteran puts it right through, and they're on the board at least here. It's now 17-3. Well, still trailing here, but they do get the late field goal. Now their defense will try to keep this score right where it is heading into the locker room.
Yeah, and trailing it to break, you obviously don't want to go in off of a negative play. Give them credit for that one. Finding a way to put points on the board. Give them any type of a spark, anything to build off of as they try and plan a comeback.
So it's halftime here in Charlotte with the Panthers out on top. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thank you very much. More from you two in just a bit. But first, let's get everybody caught up with what's going on around the NFL here in Week 5. From there, we say, so long, America. Hello, England. As we head over the Atlantic to check out the action in London. And they were winners in that one over the visiting New York Giants. Aaron Rodgers, 3 touchdown passes as his guys stay unbeaten on the year. Lastly, we head to the Gulf Coast and check on the Bucs at home in Tampa. And it was the visiting Atlanta Falcons who come in and get the victory. Cordero Patterson, a touchdown run in the victory. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half? For the answer, we turn it back over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thanks very much. Fine work as always as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. The Panthers out in front, and they will get the football first. Second half action underway. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. So here are the Panthers set to take over. They're working on a 4-game winning streak, and they lead this one as well right now as they start 1st and 10. Starting the second half with a run by McCaffrey. And give him 6 yards here as he stopped near the 35 at the 34.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
Second down and right back to McCaffrey. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. 71 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time and making it work.
They'll fake the handoff. Now Darnold fighting through pressure. They'll roll him out right. That's going to be caught downfield by Anders. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And now this is scooped up by the 49ers. Well, CD, that's one of those plays you put a mark by. I mean, that could be a big momentum swing here on the opening drive of the third quarter.
Yeah, we may have to revisit it, right? Because if that drive ends up in the end zone, they're sitting pretty at that point. Now, instead, it's a 2-score game that has a chance to tighten up considerably.
And now before the ball changes hands, they're going to take a look at this just to make sure that they have it right. Now the question, was the knee in fact down before this ball comes loose? And is the video convincing enough to overturn it?
A lot of factors here. Remember, you also need clear possession of the football afterwards. This is a tough one to overturn.
So that one overturned. They say the knee was down, and that will not be ruled a fumble. On first down, this is McCaffrey. And they're knocking on the door now. As a good run there, going to take this to about the 10-yard line. It's a nice pickup of 12 yards, and it gives them a 1st and goal. To throw is Darnold. Rolling to his right. That is caught. It's Anderson. Touchdown, Panthers. A great effort there. His first touchdown on the year. And the Panthers take the opening kickoff of the third quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead.
He was able to move around and found some vision to throw the football. And how about how he ended it? Boy, he had some zip on that throw.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt to have an arm like that. Results in the touchdown here. Great play offensively. Gonzalez to add the PAT. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21 points. 5 plays there on that drive. And Carolina scores to cap it off. The Carolina kick team is out there ready to go, and they kick this one away. And this will not be returned. It's a touchback, and they'll begin at the 25. Here's a look at the 49ers offense as they make their way out for their first possession of the second half. Lance and the 49ers now. 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Oh, the Jets sweep to start the drive. Room here to run. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. Great way to start the drive. 20 big ones and a first down. Just a simple tap pass, but it pays off in a big way.
And sometimes the simple stuff causes the most problems for a defense because there's a breakdown in communication there. When that receiver goes behind the line of scrimmage and it looks like he's going in motion, someone either has to go with him or he has to be passed off to another defender. Somehow they didn't get that communicated well, and it turned into a nice play.
Well, we saw a lot of negative plays that resulted in plenty of lost yardage in the first half, and that trend is continuing here.
After the loss, they'll come up 2nd and 13. Running left, here's Mitchell. And he takes it past the 45 and down at the 46. That ground game contained again there, Charles, and that's really a big reason that they're trailing right now.
They give a lot of credit to that defensive front. That's exactly what they worked for all week, to try and take away the run game, make them one-dimensional. In the battle of game plans, theirs has been superior.
Hilton's first catch, good for a first down.
Well, we talk all the time about playing situational football, and right now I think the scoreboard is dictating what they need to do. Where they are in this game, they've got to push the ball downfield, take their shots, try and get big chunks of yardage in a short amount of time. That was a nice play there.
He'll be hit down at the 33, 5 yards on the play. The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. Once again, it's Mitchell. And this time not as successful as he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be 3rd down. Nice job there defensively to clamp down because really they've been on their heels this drive.
Agreed, and they really needed that one for confidence, just to feel a little bit better. But I don't know if I would be daunted by them stopping me on one run. This drive has gone pretty well. I could come right back at them.
To throw, it's Lance. And this is going to be incomplete.
And there's another stop. One of the league's best defenses is certainly bringing it again this week.
Strong coverage by Carolina. And on we go to 4th down. Fourth down field goal try coming, so Lance is off, and on comes Robbie Gould. From the left hash, it's an even 50-yard attempt. The kick by Gould is good, and the deficit drops now from 21 down to 18. These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
Christian McCaffrey and the Panthers about set to go on offense. He's had a good performance, moved the ball effectively on the ground. Of course, he has the one touchdown.
And when you're able to move it as effectively as you've described, that leads to finding a way into the end zone, and now he's just trying to do it for a second time. And, of course, with that comes additional yardage.
Yeah, looking for additional yardage, and again, that second score here in the 3rd quarter. They start on the ground with McCaffrey. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
Nice chunky yards on 1st down. It really opens up your options for what you want to do on 2nd. You go right back to him and hope he explodes, or sucker the defense in before throwing over the top.
Oh, he's got a little daylight. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. We have played 3 quarters. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. So from inside Niner territory now, this is 1st and 10 at the 46. Darnold will hand off to McCaffrey. And great blocking downfield as he's got this almost to the 35-yard line. 122 yards rushing now for the NFL leader coming into this ball game.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old-school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. That one, a first down pickup of 8. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the 4th quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
They stay on the ground. McCaffrey again. And here he'll get it down to the 7. 4 yards on the play. That's going to lead to 1st and goal. How about this offensive line? They're really starting to establish themselves, take over this game.
And before the series began, I know exactly what was said in the defensive huddle. Guys, we got to get no less than a 3 and out. Let's get off the field. Instead, they can't find any traction towards doing that. Right now, they're just getting muscled all over the field and getting pushed down it.
It's a good pickup of 7 yards, and now they're looking at 2nd and goal. McCaffrey will take this one in. Touchdown, Carolina. So the first drive ended in 3. This time they take it down and punch it in the end zone.
So that first drive felt like they were just gathering knowledge, didn't it? Just enough to kick the field goal on the first one. And the second time they put it all together and got it all the way to the end zone.
Gonzalez now to add the extra point. And they open the lead up now to 25 points. A good drive that time as they go 9 plays in all. And the last play on the drive, the touchdown run from Christian McCaffrey. The Carolina kick team is out there ready to go, and they kick this one away. And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and they'll take over at the 25. And San Francisco gets set to go here. They're kind of searching for that magic elixir. You know, they're moving the football a little bit, but not with any great consistency.
I love that term you just used, elixir, right?
Old school.
Old school. I love that because you don't want to put too much pressure on your defense as well, all right? If you're kicking field goals, that's great, but your defense has to keep going out there and holding the other team. You're not giving them any cushion to work with, and that gets tougher and tougher as the game goes along. Put the ball in the end zone and get 6s. That's the ambrosia that they're looking for.
Ambrosia and trying to erase this deficit. From the 30 on 2nd down, Lance. Oh, Lance has it knocked free. The ball is loose. And it's picked up by the Panthers. And they will take over at the 26-yard line. And I don't know that that fumble is going to matter a whole lot. You look at the deficit here in the 4th. It doesn't matter. The coach on the sideline still scratching his head.
Yeah, not only scratching his head, but probably writing a note or two about we're going to address this come practice next week because maybe that's the reason we're down this far. Doesn't matter at this point, but being sloppy throughout the game, not going to help them improve.
Up the gut, McCaffrey. And he's able to motor his way down to the 16-yard line. 162 yards rushing for him now, as he has been tremendous all day long. And carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, how about that? New set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Panther football as we welcome you back. So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10. McCaffrey running up the middle. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. Fred Warner, first-time All-Pro in 2020, in on the stop defensively.
Not a run that you're going to write home about, but still a good first down run. That's what an offense calls staying on schedule. 3 to 4 yards on first down, you're set up very well for the rest of the drive.
And the Panthers are going to be set up with a 1st and goal. It's a nice run there. Gets them down to the 6-yard line. They'll try to run with McCaffrey, and he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 4, and it brings up 2nd and goal.
That didn't just feel like good defense there. That felt like pride, didn't it? He's already gotten into the end zone twice, trying to get there for a 3rd time. No one likes to have the hat trick against them.
And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. What a game it's been for him in the backfield, Charles, as he pounds it into the end zone yet again.
Yeah, and he hits the end zone one more time, and his blockers cleared all those lanes. Before the snap, they called for the heavy unit, right? 3 tight ends coming on the field, and they got the job done clearing the way.
Gonzalez to add the PAT. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. So that drive spanned 5 plays. And the last play on the drive, the touchdown run from Christian McCaffrey. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and he'll take over at the 25. San Francisco's offense returns to the field. Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
So the illegal forward pass also costs them a down, and now it's 2nd and long.
Here we go.
Now Lance. Now Lance throws the interception, his 3rd. Dante Jackson picks it, and the Panthers are going to take possession of the football. But with this advantage, this defense knew that passes were coming, and they stayed in position, Charles, and picked one off here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, what a way to cap things off, huh? Because I think this is part of the game within the game. They see the scoreboard, they see what they can accomplish, and they went for it.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. They'll give it up to McCaffrey. It was Jason Pierre-Paul who was able to get him down.
Oh, that was a thing of beauty right there. Look at how quick those blockers fired off the line once the ball was snapped. That was an O-line on a mission, all in sync, and the defense is lucky that play only picked up 5 yards.
Now the Panthers going to use the first of their timeouts. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. They'll try and pick it up with McCaffrey. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. everything, and timeout has been called. Seemingly silly with 1 second remaining in this game. This is McCaffrey on the give, and he takes it in for the score on the game's final play, so it doesn't affect the outcome, but a little whipped cream on top to their ending.
Or as our friends in Bayou Country would say, that's a little lagniappe, a little extra on top.
Some good running there at the end of the drive. He had the burst that set up the 1st and goal, and then 1 play later, he's in the end zone.
Brandon, what I liked about that sequence is I'm not sure who made the play call, but they understood the situation, understood the momentum. A nice hard-charging run, give it right back to him, and let him cap things off.
Charles, a lot of happy faces heading into the tunnel as this one ends, and understandably so. Not only did they get the win, but boy, their offense was on fire in this ball game.
And partner, I have no idea what the top speed is on one of those high-end sports cars. What's the top gear you can get into? This offense, they certainly were there in this one, huh? Everything clicking for them in this contest, the kind of performance that they're going to cherish.
So for Carolina, they improved to 5-0 now on the young season. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Los Angeles Rams. Meanwhile, for the 49ers, the loss will move them back to 3-2 on the year. And they'll try to turn it around next week as they head to Atlanta for a matchup with the Falcons. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports.
If you enjoyed the video, please go ahead and click the like button. And if you've not already, please subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon so that you're aware when I produce new videos in the future. Thank you, and I hope to see you again for the next episode.